Right now, we turn our attention to our four-legged friends. Of course, we want to make sure and help you that you can take the best possible care of your pups. And we have Dr. Roy Aronson back with us. It's been a while, Dr. Aronson.
Yes, it has. Thanks for having me back again.
Nice to have you back. And we have a very interesting subject this morning. I know that we are in the middle of the winter. It's cold, but we're talking about dehydration. Which normally is seen when it comes to heat and all of those. But I mean, there's two main factors when it comes to overexertion or to dehydration.
Yeah, you get two things. Dehydration as a result of the sick pet, a vomiting dog, dogs with kidney failure. Organ failure causes dehydration. It's often a sequel. And then dehydration due to overexertion.
Okay.
And this is the one that I think we can do something about, that the public can do something about. Bob agrees there, Bob agrees.
Bob agrees.
You know, people take their animals for a run in the
mountains
or a run wherever.
Yes. And they are speaking with this morning, yes.
And this is when the problems occur. And dehydration, it's very difficult. Your dog goes in the mountain with you and you take it up. It's quite hot.
Yes.
You can't force the animal to drink. And dogs will run in the mountain. Given the option to drink, they may actually refuse it. They want to run. Really? They want to exercise. So the big problem is that they overheat. It's heat stroke that really kills them. Dehydration accompanies heat stroke. And you can do something about that. Okay. First of all, prevention is better than cure.
Indeed.
If it's a really hot day and you've got a dog, certain shapes have a predisposition. The dog that has slightly bigger volume and less surface area, like a Staffy or a Bulldog, those are the ones that we see most commonly.
Really? So breed actually plays a big role.
Yeah. I've never seen a whippet that's dehydrated from a run in the mountain.
No wonder they make such good running dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. But Staffies, Bulldogs, that kind of breed, big dogs with relatively low surface area. You need to cool your dog down.
Yeah.
Do anything that's possible. If you take your shirt, wet your shirt and drape it over the dog. If you've got a spray bottle, I've seen people running with spray bottles specifically for their dogs. Spray the dog. You need to actually cool the dog down. What you shouldn't do is chuck the dog in the water. You need to actually spray on the dog.
Why can't you chuck it in the water?
Well, you know, you've got a dog that's overheated. You may find that the surface actually contracts. You know, water will cause cooling.
I see. So
blood vasculature on the surface contracts, and you may find that actually keeps the heat in a bit more. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you run into trouble. And the biggest killer is, in fact, heat stroke. And it really is a veterinary emergency. Yeah. If you don't get your dog to the vet fairly quickly, those dogs die.
What is the treatment from your side, what you would do if you see a dog that's been dehydrated?
You need to cool it. We run cool fluids. We actually would take a bag of fluids, put up an intravenous strip with a large wall catheter, and run cooler fluids into the dog to try and cool it down.
But like you said, it's a veterinary emergency once your dog is dehydrated. How would you know? What are some of the signs that your dog is dehydrated?
It's very dramatic. Well, the dehydration, the dogs will pant like crazy. But heat stroke, you know, the body temperature goes up to 40, 41, 42, and it's normally 38.5. And the dogs are disoriented, they dizzy, they're falling over. They will very often lie on their side, panting ferociously. And you've got about a half an hour window to get them to the vet. And unfortunately, we've had a number of times. My practice is close to the mountain, and people will come off the mountain, and they've been on the mountain. Within half an hour, the dogs are dead.
So what can people do, or viewers do at home, just in that period where they are maybe rushing the dog to the vet?
Cool the dog down by spraying it if you can with one of those spray bottles. Or as I said, take a T-shirt, wet the T-shirt, drape it over the dog. If you have a water pistol or a spray bottle, gently and carefully spray the mouth. You know, dogs lose heat, they sweat from their mouth, their saliva cools, and if you spray into their mouth, you're going to help. And if you can dribble some water into the mouth.
Now, you talk about spraying, dribbling. I've also heard that you do not give the dog free access to water.
Well, you know,
because that might actually worsen the...
A dog that's dehydrated and disoriented probably won't drink.
Okay.
But when we talk about free access to water, dogs that are vomiting, let's say a dog that's got gastro, it's vomiting. Every time you give it free access to water, it's going to drink too much. The stomach is inflamed. That water hits an inflamed stomach,
and it comes
contracts and out it comes, and it exacerbates the problem. So small, frequent amounts, water pistol once again, let the dog lick an ice block.
That's a
It's a
clever one.
great idea.
Exactly,
Yeah.
clever one. And then, of course, get the dog to the vet as soon as possible.
Unfortunately, when it's dehydrated and specifically overheated, you need a vet.
That's it. And just one last point to check by the skin of the neck. If you pinch it together, is that a telltale sign?
Well, it's a good sign of dehydration. You know, us elderly people, when you pinch us, the skin
now.
stands a little
Come
bit.
now, Dr. Roy.
But in a healthy animal, when you pull the skin, it should snap back with reasonable elasticity. And one tip, do it when your dog is healthy.
All right.
So that you
That
have
you
an
can see.
understanding of what it's about. And then when you pull the skin and it stays up, it tense, then you know that there's a problem. Yeah.
All right, great. Dr. Roy, thank you so much. Some great advice for those iconic hot summer months that's about to hit us pretty soon. Thank you so much for coming through. So there we go. Dehydration. Get your dog to the vet as soon as possible. Don't go anywhere. Quick ad break. Lots more to come.
Katlejo's got nothing on Bob. Bobtail, SA's most loved dog food for strong South African dogs.